Yeah, this is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
Let's go!
Great news, everybody. We've got some royalty coming our way. Lady Julia Morris, if you don't mind, is bringing her to 75 years in the business to Perth. She'll be playing the Astor Theatre on June 10th. So tickets go on sale today. So check those out. Julia Morris, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Hi, sweetheart.
Wow, you
75 years. 75
Oh, well, you know it because you've been
years.
almost alongside me.
That's right. Certainly feels like it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Started when you were 17, I've read. What were you doing back at 17?
That was my first appearance on telly with New Faces.
Wow.
Oh,
What
wow.
were you
There
doing?
you go.
Puppets? What was it?
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't come from a showbiz family. I didn't know how. I often get little DMs these days of people going, "Gosh, is there any help or advice you could give me? How do I start? I don't know how to start."
Oh, here we
No
go.
one knows how to start.
Yeah.
No one does.
Just
So
do
you
it is the
gotta-
answer, isn't it?
We're just pulling
Yeah,
up,
so in
some
those days,
pictures of you.
This is kind of idol almost. Idol vibes was the New Faces back in the day.
Yeah, it
Julia,
was.
and this is
Was.
controversial. It was puppetry of the vagina. I never even knew that was a thing.
Oh, look, I mean, as you get older, that's just a part of the course.
Gravity.
I didn't know that's where I was headed, but no, absolutely.
Well, everybody
Lovely
needs to
try.
start in the business, and
Yeah,
that was
that's
it. Julia,
that's
Julia, when you were starting off, you said that wasn't a thing in your family or whatever, but you don't sound like it. You've never been a shrinking violet, so were you always boisterous and you got, this is it for me?
I think it just must have been a deep need for validation looking
Sure.
back.
Yeah.
I don't. No one really. I mean, nothing's changed. I was going to say, no one really thought of me as a performer. I didn't do singing classes, and I wasn't in a musical group. And it was when I came out of school that I joined the Gossip Musical Society, and I realised, oh my gosh, I think this is something
This
for
is
me. I did not, performing ignites something. You're either horrified by the thought of it, or you're drawn towards it. I don't think there's much middle ground there.
And you had a really huge resurgence in your career as well. Would the catalyst of that have been Celebrity Apprentice? And
I think, it was in Australia.
Yeah.
So, in actual fact, the resurgence was just Australia. Because at that time, I'd been working for 8 years in the UK and 2 years in the US. So, that resurgence was just coming back onto Australian TVs.
And that's amazing, isn't it? Because that's back when it rated Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
So it was like right place, right time.
Yep.
And then suddenly, we saw you, was it House Husbands?
House Husbands, where you're like a straight
You were
acting
cast
role.
there, and then you've been doing
Totally.
Celebrity, Get Me Out
Well,
of
that's
Here.
what I've been doing in the US. I went back to drama school and
Yeah.
I've been, doing little bits and pieces of acting, and that was something that I had been wanting to add to my bow
You're the
for a
whole
long,
package,
long time.
Julia.
Yeah, complete.
I mean, I'm just happy working, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a woman in showbiz. There's absolutely zero guarantees. So, every gig's your last gig in your mind, and you just keep chipping away.
Julia,
So,
have,
Julia,
have you said no to something? Like, if something come across your table and you go, nah? Because I feel like you're...
As in that I wouldn't do,
Yeah.
so do some shows. Actually, the success of your career is determined on what you say no to.
Right.
Yeah,
Really?
yep.
So you are
100%.
Yeah.
So in the early days, I would do anything. You want me to skydive over Rottnest? I'm going to do that. You want me to do that? Well, as you know, we've not long just had Telethon, which is always
Yes.
literally the best gig of the year for any performer. And right back in my early days, you'd do anything, which these days with all the online weirdness just looks like desperation. It's not. You're just like, where's my window in? I'll do anything, please. I'm easygoing. Let's do it. And then as things do start to take off for you, so for me in Australia, again, that was Apprentice. And after that, it was definitely the things that I said no to that made the difference. That makes you, I don't know, I thought in the early days saying yes made me look like a good guy and a hard worker and that. No, it made me look desperate. I didn't know that.
It made me look desperate.
So none of those, none of those ones you said no to that you've regretted, because a lot of people, you read heaps of people go, oh mate, I had this great role, as it turns out, and I said no to, but none of those would have worked out in your favour, Jules?
No, I don't think so. I think all the ones I've said no to are like, Australia's greatest celebrity headstand. Where you're like, oh, God, all right, I don't.
Did you get asked to do that horrible diving show? Remember that celebrity?
Oh, that was horrendous.
Oh,
Who was
No,
on that
I-
again?
I mean, who was on?
Exactly.
Who tried it
No.
too? It just sounds like you're going to hurt yourself. I'm like,
Exactly.
I can't afford to be off the road. So
Yes.
these days I'm very particular about what I
yeah,
say.
no ice skating for you.
Hey, Julia, news just in, actually, online. Australia's greatest celebrity headstand's just been greenlit.
Yes.
I have absolutely no doubt because there are so many. We've got 900 channels for every channel, so I'm sure. And also, that's a yoga body. Does anyone really want to see yoga people doing a headstand? No. I want to see people who can't do it doing a headstand. Enter Lady J.
I'm telling you right now, that's a show next year. That will be a show next year.
Absolutely.
Mate, if Channel 10 will put the traitors on, that will be a show.
Everyone's getting ready. A lot of the time you don't know it's going to be that when you agree to do shows too. You don't know it's going to not be the absolute best thing you've ever done because you're turning up doing your best work.
Yeah.
And it feels the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
With I'm a Celebrity, Julia, was that an easy one to just go into? And when you started filming it, do you get a vibe that it's going to work or?
Yeah, I had high tackle that. Like I wasn't knocking around.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming to Australia, and I really launched quite a campaign on the network to let me do it.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't rest until I got that job. And then when I found out Dr. Chris was doing it as well, I'm like, okay, well now I'm 90 million times more motivated to get that job. Yeah, I knew I'd already watched it in the UK. I was already a huge fan of the format. So I just thought, surely this is going to take off. And you know what? It's been a bit of a slow grower, but it is now just more and more so. It's not just more reality television fighting. That's not really our show. And I don't think until people watch it, they don't really know that. Not that I'm giving it some worthy vibe, but, it's so much more. It's eating, animal testicles, and it's having a spider on your face. It's so much more worthy, guys. Come on.
No, that's you have a great point.
Yeah, and not a headstand inside.
We love everything.
Yeah,
you
well,
do.
you know I'm going to do one now.
I know. Phil Mann, send it to us, please.
Share the gift.
75 years in the business is the name of Julia's show. She'll be hitting the Astor Theatre on Saturday, June 10. Tickets from livenation.com.au from today. Lady J-Mo, thank you so much for talking to us.
It's the perfect Christmas present. Look, stuff me in your stocking. I've
That's
said
a
it
great
for
point.
years.
Can and will do.
Julia.
Thanks, Jules.
Talk
I
soon.
love you guys.
This is Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
There are absolute scenes at Taronga Zoo yesterday when 5 lions got out, which is great, except there were people having a roar and snore experience in tents, camping in the zoo grounds, essentially.
And look, I'm really happy to have survived.
Yes.
They're grateful, but I'm also, it's like 6:40 in the morning. Come on.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get the snore part,
Leave
got the raw part.
Yeah, leave all your possessions and run for your life.
So we're
with the
talking about
instructions.
the day you were doing something. What went down?
Christine, hello.
Good morning. How are you
Hi,
today?
Christine.
Christine, of all the days, what's happened?
Listen, there are people all across Australia absolutely losing their minds today. There's a very special coin release that I set an alarm for at 4:30 this morning to get in a queue on the Royal Australian Mint website, etc., etc. The website's gone down.
Yeah.
Christine,
No one can buy their coins.
Can I tell you something right now?
Nathan
I
Morris.
can't believe you brought this up.
This morning, Christine, my alarm went off at 4:30 a.m.
But that's normal.
To get in a queue?
to get in the queue for the coin.
Go out.
And it enraged me because it kept on saying, it'll be, it'll start in an hour, and then suddenly went to 8:30, and then went to 9.
So what
and
is
then it
this,
went
a
to 10.
Jetstar flight?
It was insane because I am not a coin collector, but I read an article that there is only 60,000 releases of these coins, and then they said that they're predicting that you could sell these coins for up to $400 each.
Almost straight up.
And it only costs $15 to buy one.
You
Christine.
should see the pictures on social media of people lining up around the Mint in
Really?
Canberra for these
Oh,
coins.
okay, to go in.
It is
Yep.
off the charts.
Really?
Yeah,
Are
because
you
you can
joking?
go
So
in and
there's
get them.
60,000 people there, so there's no point for me buying
Christine, are you a coin? Are you
a
They
coin
were queuing up
person?
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Christine, are you into this? Because I asked that.
$2 coins for my child. Like, he likes the coloured coins. So,
Yeah, but
That's the only
are you
reason I
like a
bought it.
serious coin collector, or this is just...
no, just for fun.
occasional
Like, just a casual thing.
I'm sorry,
but for me to set a 4:30 alarm,
Yes.
that's
That's
not
full
happening.
on. That's full on.
Just for
Christine.
fun. Wait, then talk to me about just the casual thing. What are you talking
Just
about?
look, I do have. Look, it's casual, but yeah, I do have a few. There's a lot of coloured
I know
coins
what
in
you
my
are.
house.
You're the girl who says, no, it's casual with
I
that
know,
guy.
but
And
yeah,
they're actually in a
exactly that.
full-blown
He's not my
relationship.
boyfriend.
What are these? So there's psychos called noodlers that go and get like thousands of dollars worth
Yes.
of coins from
Yes.
the bank. And I don't know why they call it noodling.
Noodlers.
Numismatic.
So, Christine,
Noodles.
today I was going to get one, and Harry wanted one, and Ruby wanted one.
You're
I was
not
go-
getting one.
I know, but I know, and I was going to get Nat
Nathan,
and
you're
Shaun
getting
one.
one.
But is there no
You're
limit?
getting one.
So there's no limit. There was no limit on how many you could have bought if you could have purchased them.
No, you could buy three.
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 Three. Okay.
But we're
so
talking
Harry's
like
out, Ruby.
3.5 hours later, and you still can't get on the website.
Hey, mate, I've been with you all morning. I'm still on there
Oh,
now.
God.
I'm still on there
I'm
right now.
so
Look,
frustrated.
just does nothing.
You are.
Oh,
It's just
trying to
Harry,
read
that.
Harry just got through. No, I'm only joking.
Oh, don't even. Nat, don't even.
Christine, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, inflame the situation.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Into the studio have arrived
Oh my gosh,
three brothers.
can't even handle it.
We know them as Hanson.
Hey,
Welcome
boys.
back, guys.
Taylor, Zach, and Isaac.
Hello.
How you going with the travel, Isaac?
You got our theme song.
Yes. Have you
How
heard this
many
one
times
before?
have you been introduced with that song?
A lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually, no, I was going to say it's the first time, actually.
Yeah, I know. We're revolutionary that way. Yeah.
We,
in Brazil, it's always saved me, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
yeah.
Well, what does Brazil have against Mbop?
No, they love Mbop, but
like
different
Save Me
places have certain songs that that hit in a more of
Yeah.
a localized way. So like Save Me was the theme for a huge soap opera in Brazil.
Oh,
so
really?
it became this part of their culture. So
Do you remember what the soap opera was called?
gosh, they just told us about it a million times, but no.
It's in Portuguese.
Yeah,
Did you watch any of it? Is it any
Yeah.
good? Zach?
it was a soap. We're
It's
not
a soap
huge
opera.
fans.
I'm pretty sure they're about
can-
the same.
yes.
Everybody slept with
beautiful
everybody.
acting.
There was some
It's
murder
like-
involved. There was
when I
some
watched
drama.
it was lots of yearning eyes,
Yes,
and then
staring
people,
into the
I'm pretty
distance.
sure, I don't know what they're saying. I think, is she his daughter? Wait, they're lovers? No, it's his grandmother. It was something
Yeah.
like
Isn't
that.
that hilarious?
All
When
of
you're
it
watching
together.
TV in some other country with their language, it just looks like everyone's arguing all the time. It's like, do we sound like that to other countries?
I mean, probably.
Probably, yeah, probably.
They're very confused.
Yeah.
We were discussing the accents, because American accents to us, we think are very, very plain and boring. Compared to going to Australia or going to the UK.
Yeah.
And it is interesting.
They are in a way, but it's just a very specific thing.
Depends on what part of the country you're in.
Yes,
It's
you
kind
can
of
you have
monotone.
regional
In the US,
variation.
there's people speaking English in the US that we don't understand
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Whereas in Australia, there's not that much variety. Like, there are mild differences, but if you speak to somebody from the South versus someone
In the
from
US?
Boston, it's
Oh
a
my God.
dramatic difference.
But there's gotta be cultural, like the people
there's-
out,
there's
out in the,
mild
out in the bush that are more
there's
like
deep bogan.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's farmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people that say beer. There's people that say beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the US, I mean, there is a wide range of accents. Like, we
Just
have
go to New
cowboys.
Orleans, and then go to Boston. And
Yeah,
go,
exactly.
"Wait,
What the heck?
Yeah,
It's
this
not
is
the same language
country.
at all.
But the nice thing is when everyone sings, no matter what country you're from, if you're singing in English, you sound like an American.
It is
There's a
weird,
lot
but
of
it's
people.
kind of
That
true.
is
It's
true.
very-
That
is
is
true.
Reclaimer's
That is true.
song.
Yes.
Okay.
There are a few exceptions.
Adele sounds
Do you
very
think?
British.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think once she gets going, those
That's
big
hello.
vowels.
That's because music is the universal language.
That
Am
is
I
true.
right?
You can't. You just have to sing the big A's and O's,
Yes.
and it just starts
Yeah.
getting
To resonate properly.
Hey, you guys were here. I don't even. How many years ago would you guys been
It
here?
would.
actually?
It
You
was.
came into this
I can
studio.
tell you
Before
right
the
now.
pandemic, I think.
it was 2005.
No, 2019.
No, it's been since then.
Was it 219?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last
No,
time
not
we were
in-
here.
not in
Not
this
in this
studio.
No, just in Australia.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, in our
okay.
studio, it was 2005, and the reason I know that is
studio.
because there was a song out at
Yes,
that time. It
I
was
remember
this.
this.
You guys loved it. Ready?
I like the way you move.
There you go.
And you guys were like, "What's this song?" We're like, that's why I know the day that you were here.
That's a wonder. That's a very specific memory.
Isn't it? I know.
So, what was your specific memory of us?
No swearing.
I was thinking.
Staring deeply into your eyes.
Was
That's what it
it that time we played you the Body Rockers? Yeah,
That's
it
what it
was.
was.
Yeah.
I was thinking Sydney Opera House with the orchestra, but
That was the
wasn't
last time we were
Perth.
actually here in the country.
Yeah, right.
Was the symphony tour we did was in 2019.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Opera House.
you haven't stopped touring, you guys. So I'm wondering,
Yes.
because you've all got 1,000 kids each, is that just to get away?
It's just to pay the bills, man.
Sean has four.
gotta get
kids.
Actually, the real problem is because Taylor's got 7 and Zach's got 5. I have to give them extra commission just to make sure that the kids can go to
Yes,
school.
it's the old
so they've got
motherfucker.
shoes.
You know,
Yeah.
so I'm actually carrying a little bit more weight than I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Hey, no, you look good, Ike. You look good.
I know. I know. Hey, it's a little softer in the middle of the
My best mate Johnny found out that you guys were on the show today, and he absolutely lost his mind. And I've been friends with him for years, and I didn't even know this. But he said to me, "Do you know I was obsessed with Hanson?"
Oh, wow.
Zach.
Yes.
Zach was
Oh,
his
just you,
god.
Zach.
Johnny was a drummer and
okay,
still
okay.
drums,
Wow.
and he's got a photo of him with Zach's hair.
Oh, my God.
Wearing a Hanson t-shirt on the drums, and he absolutely
was 35 at the
lost his
time.
mind. Absolutely lost his mind. And what he did say, Zach, was he told me not to bring up. He goes, when he first saw you, he thought, "Oh my God, Zach's amazing," and he didn't know if you're a boy or a girl because of your hair.
No, I mean, 11-year-old boys just
Yeah.
Look like-
It could go either way.
Certain things haven't happened yet.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I always feel bad. We hear so many cool stories about people who've been inspired, but especially when someone walks up, they go, "Yeah, and I started playing drums because of you," or "My son wants to play drums." I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
They
you
could
feel
have
like
been a
you need
real
a-
musician, but they decided
That's right.
to
Not
join
a drummer.
a cult of hitting things.
Out of the whole world of music, in a band, drums seems to be the most effort because you can't just pick up your instrument. You need people to help you. That must be
Yeah.
annoying.
Well, you have to
Zach.
set it up and tear it down.
Yeah,
Take it apart
man.
every time.
Yeah, when you have to
Yeah, I was
bump in
gonna
your
say.
instrument, it's
Yeah.
tough,
There's very few instruments you have to actually assemble.
I
to
know.
play.
Were you forced to do the drums because you were the youngest and they needed that to complete the band? Is that what happened? How did that work
Actually,
out?
I think we were partially trying to get Zach to have a place to put all that energy that he
And
naturally
Zach was
came
like,
by.
"Let me play the flute." Let me play the flute.
Dude, you should hear him on the recorder. It's pretty impressive.
It was closer to that than you would think.
Okay,
Yeah, I know it was.
Isaac really wanted to play guitar,
Oh,
and
really?
Taylor was a much better piano player. So
Now I wish we could
what's
switch.
left?
it was like, I guess I'll play drums. One of the most interesting things was, of course, being left-handed, you play everything backwards.
Oh, I'm left-handed too.
But
I know
nobody
you will.
thinks about that when they set up the drums.
Yeah.
So I started playing drums first
your-
right-handed, and everything was strange. And we played gigs where I was playing the drums right-handed, and then eventually it took like a month before we're like,
Why don't we change them around?
they're backwards.
Oh, but you know what? Now you eat it, Isaac, because now he gets to sit down during
Yeah,
the entire concert. So as you get older, the drums get better.
That's what I'm saying. Now I wish I could switch. Now I'm just like, Zach, you know what? You just go up front. You just dance around and have a great time.
Yeah, you get all that cardio in.
Surely, you guys, Isaac and Taylor, you play other instruments. I know.
Yeah, we
A little
do.
bit, yeah. We
I
dabble in drums and guitar.
These
all
two,
three of us kinda play a
Taylor and
little bit.
Zach are more drummers than I am.
Yeah.
I'm not great at drums, but all of us play piano and guitar, especially just songwriting and stuff. That's the best tool for writing songs.
Isaac started playing cello when we did the
Cello?
symphony
Cello.
project. Yeah.
I'm not great, but I can
It's
make
not an
some
easy
noise.
instrument.
Yeah, well, no, it's such a different discipline. I mean, the fingerboard kind of element without frets.
Frets,
That's
yeah.
it's workable. It's comparable
relative
to
pitch.
it's comparable to a bass, but the bowing process is just
Oh,
a whole
God, yeah.
mind melt.
Now I want to talk about your concert because this is interesting. So it's called Red, Green and Blue. Taylor, you have got your own section red. Yes.
Yeah.
Isaac, you're green. Zach, you're blue.
Yeah.
I've never heard about this sort of thing happening before. Tell everyone how that's going to and
Yeah, so it's sort of interesting. It's our 30th
It's sort of
anniversary of being
interesting.
a band.
We hate each
Yeah.
other, and we decided to
And
survive.
one element of this tour is obviously just being back after 2 years
Yeah.
of pandemic stuff
Of
and
course.
people not being able to tour. But
People are very happy to come to shows right now.
Oh,
They're like, yes, what band is this? I don't know. I'm so glad.
but we wanted to make a record to sort of celebrate this period, and sort of as you're talking about different things we can do, one thing that's very unique about our band is just that we all write, we all play, we all produce, and so we split the album into 3 parts and said, Isaac, you do a third, Taylor,
So it's
you
like
do a
going
third.
solo within the confines of the band.
It's about as close as we've ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about as close as you can without actually
going solo.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone played for each other, sang for each
Yes.
other when they wanted it. But if Isaac didn't want me on a song,
Yes.
he just said, "See ya."
It was about
interesting.
who had
That's not on
creative
anything.
control.
So of Isaac's. No.
Yeah, see,
I see how you beat me to it. I was going to say there's like 3 songs where Zach's not on there.
For us, I think there's, you're trying to talk about the unique stories and find ways to invite people into what it is that makes your band what it is, and that sort of DNA of having 3 guys that could do it alone but choose to do it together.
Yes.
I think it shows people something about the band that I think they probably haven't heard before or seen before. And then in the tour, of course, that is part of the show. So playing these new songs that have those sounds, but also, I mean, we're sort of playing everything.
Yes.
That's how shows work.
Yeah.
You don't just leave songs out, but you do have to find that balance of new and old.
But you've each got your own flavour. What's yours, Taylor, in your section?
Well, I mean, on this project, we also kind of chose a path, and in my case, I chose to mostly be sort of smaller and more intimate because usually, I mean, with our work, I mean, you're trying to cater to, let's get some harmony there, let's do a solo, let's write it, and it's like, okay, well, if this project is more this way, I'm actually going to sort of make it smaller, make it, emphasize that element. So it's honestly more mellow, the 5 songs.
Yeah, well, and you also utilized our friend and producer David Garza, who helped make the record with us. He's a fantastic musician, also a really, really good guitar player. And Tay, you used David in several cases in a way that I think we probably wouldn't have otherwise used.
And it still hurts Ike's feelings.
Like, hey man, you wanted it.
I was.
So he
I
just
was-
not even choosing not to even play, like writing a song on piano, and then being, I'm not even going to play piano. Like you're gonna accompany and play guitar, and so it just kind of flipped it on its head a little bit.
Because I think it's surprising. Yours is K-pop, isn't it?
Yeah.
it is K-pop. Yes, it is.
The choreography's amazing.
It's
though.
going to be good.
I'm going to be wearing very shiny outfits from now on.
Why wouldn't you?
As I say as I'm wearing all black.
The least shiny of the group, actually.
Isaac's is a little rootsier.
It's almost country in a way in certain cases. Not so much, but it's definitely got that kind of bluesy guitar player kind of quality.
You do know what
to it.
root means here in Australia, don't you?
No.
Okay.
So it's super rootsy.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in. The Red, Green and Blue World Tour, Monday, 7th of November at the Astor. So Sunday show sold out, but there are still tickets for Monday's added show. Ticketek.com.au is where you can
Get on
get
board.
those.
Get on
Thanks
board.
so much for coming in.
Always
We'll
good to
see you
see
in
you.
another, 17 years, I guess.
Hopefully it won't be that long, but we'll see you soon.
Good on you.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
We are discussing the things that can go horribly wrong, or when you're hiring something like the car that went into the sinkhole yesterday. Hire car, awkward conversation you've got to have.
I really hope it was covered.
It's paperwork, isn't it?
Hey, Lewis.
Hey, mateys, how are you?
Yeah, good buddy.
Lewis.
Good buddy.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I'm not in this job anymore, so it's all good. I'm not going to drop any names, though. But we got this beautiful brand new Prado up north, and we were following out some of the crews. Didn't realise how bush it was going to get, and realised that the T's and C's didn't cover us for anything off-road. Even though the vehicle was extremely capable.
Yes, I mean, it's a four-wheel drive. That's the point of it, right? Yeah.
That's right. So we got bogged. First, as soon as we got into this paddock, we got bogged.
Yes.
And I had to get towed out by a JCB, so one of those little crane tractor things.
Yes.
Everyone's taking photos. Look, City Boy got bogged. As soon as he got in, I was like, far out. What is going to happen here? So a laughing stock. Then we hit the actual bush.
Yes.
All the pinstripes started happening, everything like that. I was like, oh, my God, what is happening here?
Yeah.
This is really bad. Anyway, got out, and that car was cleaner than when it came off the showroom floor. I spent $60-something on wax.
Yes.
Busted out. It was sensational.
Yes.
And anyway, I dropped it back off at the airport, pack in it. You don't understand how packing
Well,
it
you've
up
waxed
was.
it. You've waxed it to an inch of his life, haven't you?
I waxed it to smithereens. I basically
The full Brazilian.
bare metal. So I took it to the airport. I was like, next few weeks, I was just like checking the
Just
inbox
waiting.
at work, waiting for this charge to come through.
Yeah.
Didn't come through. Got away with it. Had the best time of my life.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hey,
Lewis,
great.
well done.
I'm so sorry. The risk you took for taking a hire car out bush.
Yeah, I know.
That is insane.
Yep, and bogged as soon as I
And
hit that
bogged.
paddock. It wasn't even like I got into it. I was bogged straight away.
I could just imagine you feverishly waxing that car.
It was like the Karate Kid all over
wax his
again.
memories away from
wax
it.
on, wax off.
Don't tell
as
them what
hard
we
as you
did. Don't
can.
tell them what we did. Don't tell them what we did.
Thanks, Lewis. Let's go to who's next there? Harry. We've got Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how you going?
Yeah, good, buddy. All right, we're talking about hiring staff and whether something can go wrong with it or not. What happened?
So my wife and I, we hired a motorhome to drive around the South Island of New Zealand for our honeymoon. Absolutely beautiful.
Amazing.
And so on the way, it's our last day, and we're driving back to Christchurch on this highway, and just out the corner of my eye, I can kind of see this black thing. And this really graceful, slow curve, a bird has just flown along, and then bam, has hit the side mirror, the driver's side mirror, and punched this enormous hole in the wing mirror.
Oh.
And we're sort of driving along, and we've got literally like an hour and a half or something like that to check the car back. We didn't have time to stop anywhere. So we pull in, we get out, we've got our big backpacks of all of our luggage, we're just standing there. It's cool, it's fine. They do the walk around. They didn't see anything.
Yes.
And so we went inside, signed all the paperwork, and they said, "Oh, can we get you a taxi ring?" I went, "No, we're fine. We'll just walk."
We'll just walk.
Casually cruise out, no problem at all, and hightail it as fast
And then sprint as fast as he can with backpacks on.
with 20 kilos of backpack on your back, but that's all right. We ran like we were in the SAS.
I tell you what,
That's
because
amazing.
that would be something that I thought straight away they'll sting you for, and a mirror
Yes.
shouldn't be that expensive, but they would have
No.
charged you like $500 or something
Yeah.
for it.
Oh,
And
wouldn't have been cheap.
The hole was like the size of the palm of your hand. It wasn't tiny. They just kind of around, tick, tick. No
Yeah.
problem.
Can we get
And
a
it's like,
taxi for you?
Let's go.
Start the car!
That's what we want. We want people receiving these vehicles to not care about their jobs. That's what we want.
We need more disenfranchised people in the world, like we are with this job.
People that just don't care. Great. Thanks, Jeff. Paul's in Yokine. Hello.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Hey, good ball.
Paul. Okay, what were you renting and what went wrong?
I was renting my first ever caravan.
Congratulations,
And-
firstly.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an important
I was,
milestone in a young man's life. Yep.
It was. And everyone was nervous. The guy I hired it from, you're meant to have caravan experience. He knew I didn't. He was nervous. I was nervous. My wife was nervous. What could go wrong? And we took it. I reversed it up a small driveway. No problems. We took it away the entire weekend. Not a single scratch on it. And he was really helpful. So on the way back to drop it off at his house, I stopped off at a liquor store to buy him a six-pack to say thank you. And now people have said to me, why would you ever drive it into a car park? But I didn't know that. So I stopped off, bought the six-pack to say thanks. On the way out, sideswiped the lady's car and took the side off the caravan. Drove it back to him and just had to be honest and said, mate, this was originally going to be a thank you present. Now half of it's to say thanks and the other half's to say sorry.
Oh, Paul.
You were
And
so
the irony
close.
was,
Yes.
if I hadn't have stopped off to say thanks, it wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't have happened at all.
Well, you know why? Because you've done so well so far. I mean, you're basically a hero. So why wouldn't you? Oh, Paul, did you have to? Did you have
and then
to
I
pay?
went to zero.
Did you have to pay?
Well, yeah, it's still going through. Like, he was really good about it. I should probably buy him another six-pack. But
I don't know if 12 beers are going to cut it. To be honest, Paul.
Well, as long as I don't take the caravan to go to the car park to buy the other six-pack.
Exactly. You be careful. Get it delivered or something.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
I don't want to alarm you, but there is 52 days until Christmas.
It's amazing. Isn't it? The
And-
shops are filling up.
There's one thing we know, there ain't no Christmas like a Donna Hay Christmas. There's a new show streaming on Disney+. Donna Hay
Donna.
walks us through the Christmas
guys.
season.
Good
Hello,
morning,
Donna.
Donna. It's been so long.
I know.
What's going on?
I've been a bit busy, sorry.
That's all right. Building an empire doesn't build itself,
Yeah, that's
does
right.
it? I mean, there's a reason why all home opens have a Donna Hay book displayed in the kitchen.
So true.
So you want to sell that home at a good price, you get out those fancy books.
I tell you
Exactly,
what,
that's the answer.
I have to tell you, I'd say 90% of kitchens with home opens have Donna
Yeah,
Hay there
of
to
course
show
they
that,
do.
you know, hey, we live a bit of a fancier lifestyle in this abode.
And you could too. Hey, Donna, I'd like to take offence on your behalf, if I may.
Oh, goodness, okay. You
Well,
may.
last night you
Go
were on the
ahead.
project and Carrie Bickmore disrespected your trifle, and I'll not have it.
Thank you, Nat. You won't have it? Yeah, I just don't think she could look past that it wasn't lemon meringue. It was more. You know, I bring more to the table.
Yeah, well,
always.
nobody wants an ordinary, boring
Are you
old trifle
kidding?
that your nana made 50 years ago.
I
mean, they're
love
fine, but we know the recipe. Yours was an innovation, wasn't it?
Thank you, Natalie. It was. It was indeed. I thought I was doing something really special. You know, I
Yes.
whipped it up and what did I? Anyway,
Can I
Wasted on
tell
those
you,
heathens.
every
I can't.
Christmas now I've made a trifle, and mine's, and Donna, you've seen my trifle. It was glorious and looked beautiful, and I.
sorry, what was that word?
It was definitely a trifle.
No, it didn't. No, I'm self-assessing it. I am all about my trifle, and I could literally eat that entire thing myself every day.
You know, and you've mentioned that before, Nathan, and I'm on the opposite end. I think trifle is just for people in nursing homes that have got no teeth. And I
Donna,
just
No,
Donna,
Donna,
don't believe that I would
attack.
ever have
Donna,
it.
attack.
No, Donna, hit him.
No, look at some of them are. You know, the old aeroplane jelly
Yes.
thing
Yes.
going on. You know, I think you can. If Auntie Peg wants to make that, that's great. You know, like that could be her thing.
That's my trifle. I put jelly in mine because it's the only time I eat jelly.
Uncle Nathan.
Are you serious?
No, you make those you bring those cups in with little frogs in sometimes.
You're
to
being
wear.
very judgy with a jelly right now, lady.
I'm not. I'm just agreeing with Nat that I like to switch things up a little
And that
bit.
it's
and
time
do
to
a
innovate.
new version. Yeah.
Yes. And Donna, you had me when instead of putting what's the booze you normally put in, sherry or something?
Yeah.
You used gin, and I was all about that.
I don't put booze in mine.
Syrup,
I use
throw it over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use orange juice in mine to just like really strong orange juice. I don't need to
Really
drink. I don't
strong
need to
orange.
drink to be happy. You too. You too.
Well, that's where you're going.
Wait,
Right?
no, we're drinking because we're
Donna,
happy.
Donna, bloody on the end of a private jetty, just pounding spirits.
To be honest, Donna, you seem to put gin in a lot of the recipes in that Christmas special. I know.
And it's one of your favourite spirits, Natalie.
I know.
And so this Christmas special is just for you.
I know, and when you weren't putting gin in, you were putting juniper berries, which is basically the same thing. I know, I loved it. It was a real theme.
Gin on gin. Donna, so your Christmas, I know we've spoken about this probably before, but are you excited for Christmas Day anymore, or is it just a lot of organising and a lot of presents and a lot
And
of mood driving
expectation.
around, you know, dropping people off and picking them up?
No, I think I love Christmas. I love it still. It's good. It's good. Everyone comes together. There's excitement in the air. There's lots of things to make.
I
It's good.
reckon the decorations at your house would be next level. Talk to me about your tree. Do you like have one of those really super expensive ones that folds down into nothing, or do you go out into
hack down a pine tree?
field and hack down like a dead branch and
I have
popcorn around
a
it or
tree
some
made out of branches.
yeah,
Yes.
thought so.
And my sons whinge every year and they say, not the dead branch tree again.
I knew you'd have a dead branch tree.
Yeah, not the dead. Oh,
It looks like
sad.
you're having Christmas at Chernobyl.
Is it made of sun bleached driftwood that you collected from your private beach?
It's made from dried poplar branches. Yes.
Yeah, that's when she fell off. That's when she fell off the jetty after pounding gin.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
We're talking about when you might have been left out of something awesome, like the manager left out of the Lotto syndicate that won.
Everybody, think
In
about
Kalgoorlie.
him. Chris Wood. Chris
I
Wood.
love that we know
The
his
manager,
name and
Chris.
everything.
Group manager.
He's forever the guy that was left out of the Lotto syndicate.
Everybody that works under Chris Wood from the night shift is a millionaire now.
No.
And Chris
2.7.
No.
Tash is in Bassendean. Hi, Tash.
Hi guys, how
Hi,
you going?
Tash. Good. We're
Great,
talking
Tash.
about being left out of something awesome.
This is going back quite a few years ago, but I handed in my notice about a month before Christmas, and my boss decided that since I'd already handed in my notice, I didn't get to go to the office Christmas party, and I had to stay home.
So you're still working there at this time, though, Tash, but because you've given notice, you can't go.
Yeah,
that's it.
Was it a good one, Tash? What did they get up to?
Yeah, I had organised it for them.
Tash, no.
You organised the
You organised the party that then turned out to be for everybody but you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Tash. Well, it's TikTok.
Oh, Tash. That's really funny.
That is really funny.
I would have cancelled things right last
that's
minute.
right. That's right. No more catering. Oh, Tash, that's amazing. Thank you. Erin's in Mundajong. Hello.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, Erin. Was there something awesome that you got left out of?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, my grandparents took my mum and dad on a trip to London, but all expenses paid, and they took my brother, but I wasn't allowed to go, so I had to stay home by myself.
Why weren't you allowed to go?
I'm not entirely sure because my grandparents were paying, so they were kind of just like, we can bring one grandchild.
And then they looked around and went, oh, not you, Erin. Definitely not you.
We're not going to waste this trip on her.
I just stayed at home by myself, and it was on my birthday as well while they were away.
Oh, Erin, Erin, how old were you and how old were your brother? Did they take him because he was so young, or?
No, he was like 18 and I was 20, I think.
And then they left you at home on your 20th.
Yeah, well, they needed someone to look after the house.
Exactly. And while they were away, I ended up getting pneumonia and I was in hospital by myself, really sick.
Oh, my God. Erin. It's getting worse.
That's the killer punch, isn't it?
It's like I was just trying to steal their attention back because I was at home by myself.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look at her. She's trying to,
Can I just say, I didn't know these stories are going to be so multi-layered.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Shaun.
We're discussing when you were left out of something absolutely awesome.
It's called pulling a Chris Wood.
Yeah. Who's Chris Wood, I hear you ask?
Chris Wood is the manager of the 20 night shift workers, all employed by a WA mining contractor that won the lotto in Kalgoorlie. They split up $53 million each to pocket $2.6 million each.
But what happened to Chris?
Chris wasn't part of it.
You left out of something awesome. Jess is in Duncraig. Good morning, Jess.
Morning, how are you?
Good, Jess.
Good, Jess.
What happened?
That's good. So a few years ago, I was working as a junior in a transport company, and they asked me to get a list of employees and to give everyone a Christmas ham as their bonus.
Yes.
But because I hadn't been there long enough, you had to have been there 3 to 6 months, I didn't get a Christmas ham.
So you organised hams for everybody and you didn't get a ham for yourself?
Yeah. So they made me walk around and give everyone a ham at their desk.
Like some sort of little
but
ham
I didn't
elf.
get to take one home. Yeah.
Oh, that's really unfair, Jess.
You're just praying for
It
a
was very
vegetarian at
sad.
that moment, aren't you?
What were the size of the hams? We just would like to know for
It
our own
was one of
information.
those, the full leg, like
great
gourmet
big,
ham from like the
Interesting.
best butcher. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a really nice ham. But
It is
didn't get to
interesting.
taste
Yep.
it.
Sean?
Bit better than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one that was the size of a mouse pad.
It was
given to us for
tiny.
Christmas one year.
They're like, come in and collect your ham. So we had to take time out of our holidays to come in and collect the ham. And when we saw it, went, I've promised my mum a leg of ham, and I am not going to be delivering a leg of ham.
Can I say tomorrow we should do the topic of the thing you'll never let go of? and this is
We've
out.
got so many, though. It's not just that.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Time to welcome a special guest to the show. I know, this early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's none other than, well, we like to claim her as a West Australian, even though she hasn't lived here for a long time. Comedian and host of ABC podcasts Overwhelmed and Living, which is a much more upbeat sequel to Overwhelmed and Dying, which was her 2020 podcast. Judith Lucy, welcome.
Good morning. And look, you can take the girl out of WA, but for heaven's sakes, my most formative years, the first 20 years, of my life. So, and in fact, the last podcast, Overwhelmed and Dying, ended with me snorkeling at Ningaloo Reef with Tim Winton. So it doesn't get much more WA than that.
So that is as West Australian as you can get.
Judith, what suburb did you frequent? What did you grow up in?
I grew up in downtown Melville. So, yes, very close to good old Fremantle, which is where I spent a lot of time. And, of course, people would say, where did you go to school? And often I would say Atterdale, and they'd go, where's that? But, for those of you who know, it's south of the river, and I went to a Catholic school, so sucked in, because actually we had the best views. Because, of course, Catholics always,
high up on the hill.
Great real estate.
You went to the same school that our good friend Sean McManus's daughter is currently going to now.
It's not Santa Maria Ladies College.
In your bright green
Soli Deo, what was it? Soli Deo Gloria for the love of God. And when I was there, I'm not making this up, our headmistress's name was Sister Sheila. Quite honestly.
Sister Sheila.
Sister Sheila. But what was remarkable is that we had a lot of nuns like that. We had Sister Bloke, Sister Victoria Bitter. She was great. She'd come in the morning and she'd go, you can get a pull and a plough, you can get it taken a vow.
Matter of fact.
I've got it now. But yes, I really, Sister Sheila, not making that up.
So you went to a ladies' college. That's interesting, isn't it?
And good morning, Nathan. Did you go to an asshole college?
Yeah, I did. I went to school in Kalgoorlie.
Yes. Well, then, actually, I take it all back.
No further questions.
No further questions needed.
Julie.
Well done, though, for being that rude at just after 6 in the morning. I take my hat off to you.
It's a skill set.
Judith. So I personally, let's talk about the pandemic, right? I personally didn't mind it. I like the fact you didn't have to make up excuses.
Nobody in Perth can talk to someone in Melbourne and say they didn't mind the pandemic.
Because we were
Thank you very, very much. Can I just say to you, Nathan, and I was in Perth for some time last year. I got out between lockdowns, and it was like, you were in lockdown for about 65 seconds. So,
It was a rough minute, though, I tell you.
Boo-hoo. But, many confronting things. Hair removal was an enormous issue for many of us. I mean, obviously because of Zooming, I sort of kept shaving my face. But from the neck down, I just let everything go. It was full Wookiee. It was like, but no, Wookiee from the neck down. I mean, from the neck down, it was like a jungle, honestly. It was like the Amazon rainforest. In fact, I was storing carbon at one point. So at least I was doing my bit for the environment. And that neatly leads me into plugging the podcast Overwhelmed and Living, which is actually kind of about, those of us who were in lockdown a lot of us had a look at our lives, and some of us went, that sucks a bit. Look, one of the conclusions I came to was, I reckon climate change is sticking around. So, yes, I've tried to make a funny podcast about climate change. So, good luck to me. But I did do some interesting things. I went and lived in a tiny house. I went on an Extinction Rebellion protest.
Okay.
What was that like?
What did you put yourself to?
Yeah.
I threw some mashed potato at a lot of famous artworks. No, this is the thing with Extinction Rebellion. They do a lot of different things, and I actually dressed up with a bunch of other women, and we sort of did these movements. It was sort of like we were doing Tai Chi to music. Look, it sounds a little like we were out of our minds, and maybe there's some truth to that, but it actually... the whole climate change thing is pretty overwhelming. So it has actually just felt to get out there and do some stuff, to be honest, and to try and make it kind of entertaining, because I know often, we hear that phrase climate change and people simply stop listening.
Yes.
So I just thought, well, let's try and make something that, uses my life and my idiocy to make it a bit entertaining.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.